Hello everyone, it's Mari here from Mari Clark Creations, and today I have a bunch of new goodies to share with you from the brand new release from Honeybee Stamps. So Honeybee actually has two kind of themes in this current release. The release is called Spooktacular, but in Spooktacular there's some Halloween themed products and there's some fall themed products. So I'm going to show you the Halloween products first, and then I'll show you the fall and some of the extras like the paper, the wax melts and stuff like that. And then I'm actually going to make a card for you. So let's get right to it. This stack here, like I said, is the Halloween themed product, and there's so many fun things here. I absolutely love this set here. This is a standalone die set. This one is called A Little Spooky. You can see that this contains a candelab, a moon, a skull, a cauldron, a waxy candle melting, a raven, some steam or fire, a bone, got some other little bits to add onto the cauldron, a stack of spooky books, and a hand. So really cool, lots of really great icons there. These are fantastic dies because you can see all of the etching in them and all of the lines and details that you're going to get when you die cut these. So I'll try to turn that so that there's no glare so you can see that a little bit better. This is a really great set and it's called A Little Spooky. It's really unique. I haven't seen anything quite like that. This one is the Pumpkin Spice Market Cart add-on. So if you've previously purchased the Market Cart, this is an add-on to create kind of like a Halloween theme or fall themed market cart. And if you don't have that Market Cart die set, it is available in the Honeybee shop. So you can purchase that with this add-on set, which is really super fun. It's really cute for creating some fall or Halloween themed projects. This one is called Fright Night Circlescape. So in the last release, the summer release, we had another Circlescape die set. It was very popular. This is also really cool, and you can see that this one is, it could be a fall theme or it could also be Halloween theme. So there's some Halloween type themed dies here as well, some little tombstones, pumpkin, jack-o'-lanterns, cross, and a bat, and then of course a picket fence here at the bottom. So really cool for making shaker cards or just for a focal point on the front of your card. You can definitely do some cutting with some colored cardstock. You could do some ink blending with this. Really neat, and I love how there's also this little star effect here in this part of the die. So this one's really cool. It's called Fright Night Circlescape. It's a standalone die set. Another standalone die set. This one is one of my favorites from this release. This one I think is called, Toil and Trouble. Actually, I've used this one for a sample that you'll be seeing very soon. And you can just see here how cool this is. There is a layered broom. So the broom has the main die and then 3 other layering dies for the bottom part of the broom. And there's also a witch's hat here and a bunch of things that you can use to decorate the hat, like a bow, for example, or a patch. There's a couple of patches that you could layer together. There's a bat, a moon, there's a feather. Did I say skull already? There's a buckle for the hat, a pumpkin, some bones, a spider, and a spider web. So very, very cool. I love that. That set's called Toil and Trouble, and it's a standalone die set. So really cool. Make lots of really fun things with that. This one is called Perfect Potions Shaker Jars. Really cool for making shaker cards. I love this so much. So you can see that this jar here has another jar or bottle the same shape. This will layer over top to create the frame for a shaker bottle. For this one, you've got another bottle here and another here. So there's 3 different bottles on here to layer. There's corks or tops for the bottles. Really cool. Love that. So that is called the Perfect Potions Shaker Jars. It's a standalone die set. Really cool. This one is such an adorable set. I love it. It's called If the Broom Fits. It's a large stamp set. You can see all of the really fun images here. Everything from the witch's hat, the black cat, the witch's skirt and her legs. Another hat here. Some things to decorate the hat with. This bow with fall leaves in it. Spooky spider web, a couple of spider webs, a spider, a bone, a skull, feather, pumpkin, bat, some stars, a moon. Really cool. You can make a fun scene with this. A lot of really cool ways that you could use this. I do have a project that I made with this that I posted. I actually will, before I leave today, show you the samples that I made that have already been posted with some of these projects. So this one's called If the Broom Fits. It has a coordinating die set that's sold separately, and that's really awesome. This is another large set. It's called Happy Halloween. It includes a large spider web, which actually fits perfectly on an A2 size card. It has a bunch of really fun sentiments or greetings. Got candy, ? Let's party. Happy Boo Day. Trick or treat. This really fun wavy Happy Halloween. To My Boo. A more linear Happy Halloween. You can see the mix of the fonts. I love that. So some really different fonts on there. There's also a spider's web that you could use, or I should say a spider on a web that you could use in coordination with that spider web. So this is really fun. It's called Happy Halloween. There's a coordinating die set sold separately that cuts out all of the different, basically everything on the bottom section here. So it cuts out all of the sentiments and the spiders. So really fun. Happy Halloween. This one is called Hocus Pocus. It's some larger sized sentiments for your project, or not necessarily larger. This one's not that big. This one's not that big, actually. Not all of them are that big. There's a couple that are bigger. So really fun. We've got I Put a Spell on You, Eat, Drink, and Be Scary, Witches Gotta Stick Together, Trick or Treat, Hey Boo, Have a Spooky Good Halloween, Witch Please, Pick Your Poison, and Hocus Pocus. So really cute. There's a coordinating die set sold separately that cuts all of those sentiments out, and that's called Hocus Pocus. Next we have Perfect Potions. This is another bottle or label stamp set. Some of these labels coordinate with another set that I'm going to show you here as well. So this is Perfect Potions. It has a coordinating die set. And just really fun. I think it would be really fun to color these so that they look like glass. Lots of different options here. There's also some cork dots here for your cork, for stamping onto the cork. So really fun. Love that. This is Halloween Potion Labels. So this is really fun. It's got a coordinating die set that's sold separately. And these would be really fun for decorating the Perfect Potions or the shaker bottles. This one says hemlock root, cobweb extract, crow's foot, poison, dead finger, bat wings, witch's brew, goblin eye, rat tails. There's also a pumpkin and a bat stamp and a skull and a spider web. And you can see that these are layerable. So you've got the empty label there and the empty label here, which match the shape of the other labels. So super fun. There's coordinating dies for all of those. So for these teeny tiny ones that you might want to cut out that already have, they've got a nice border around them. You can definitely trim that out with the coordinating die. So that's called Halloween Potion Labels. I think that's really unique and I love that too. Okay, so now getting into the fall themed products. Just switch these stacks out. This first one here is just stunning. This is Lovely Layers. This is Lovely Layers Fall Foliage. And we can see here that there's some larger leaves here. This is that, I think it's called a seed cone or something like that. There's a cat tail, a couple of cat tails. Really, really gorgeous. And these all layer up to make really beautiful layered pieces for fall. So beautiful fall foliage, Lovely Layers set. This is the Layering Vintage Labels die set. You can see that I have used this. I will pull this out if I can. I may have to actually cut the plastic here to get this out so that it doesn't take too long. this is really cool. What you get here is an outer layer, and this is kind of got some faux stitching on it. So you can see that this outer layer, the main layer, has kind of all of this little bit of detail on it, and then kind of like a little dot around that area. And so this is going to cut on the outside here, and it's going to cut this part away, and here, and this part away, and this part away. And then you're going to have this beautiful vintage label in the center. And then there's some layering pieces as well. So this largest one layers in, just get this off my table here. This layers in here like this, and you can see that this also has a cutting line and it has a faux stitching line. So this could be layered on here so you can get some dimension. You could also use this separately as a separate die outside of the set, and now you can just see there's a bunch more stacking dies, nesting dies that nest in all the way down to this itty bitty one. So you can see that, how that's going to work. So really love that. That's a really cool set. It's really nice to have die sets like this in your stash because they're really versatile. You can use them on a ton of different projects, and you know, you can coordinate them with embossing folders or your foil plates or whatever to just make some really fun projects. Too bad I don't have fingernails. Okay, just going to set this aside. So that is the Layering Vintage Labels. Really gorgeous die set. Next we have a couple of cover plates. This one is the Ornate A2 cover plate top. You could definitely use this as a standalone die, but you could also use this in coordination with this cover plate, which is called the Ornate A2 cover plate base. And this is really gorgeous. If you can see here, there's lots of embossing lines on here and then cutting lines. So it's going to cut some parts of your project and it's going to emboss other parts of your paper, and it's just going to look really beautiful. And then this layers or could layer over top. So beautiful. You could use them separately or together. That is the Ornate A2 cover plate base and top. Love those. This is the rattan basket. I'm sure this is going to sell out. It is amazing. I love this one so much. It's a layerable basket so that it cuts in two parts. You have two separate dies, but you layer them together so that this bottom one goes behind this front one, and then you can tuck things inside of it. Really cool. I love this so much. I think it's genius, and I think there's so many ways that you could use this. So super fun. This one is adorable too. This is called Teapot and Cup. This is a standalone die. You've got the teapot, the top, a couple of different types of tops to your teapot. Or actually, no, this is a saucer. This is the saucer for the cup. And then you have a tea bag. So really cute. And I haven't used this yet. So really fun. Teapot and cup. Looking forward to using that one. This next one here is gorgeous. It's the newest Lovely Layers flower. It's a mum. So this is Lovely Layer Mums. You get a full mum floral. You also get a smaller bud that's about to open, and you get a couple of stems. So it's just stunning when this is colored up. I did have a sample of this one as well. Like I said, before I go today, I will show you the samples that I made. But in true Lovely Layers fashion, it's just gorgeous. It's got some really beautiful leaves with this one. So, so pretty. And you can coordinate these with your other Lovely Layers. So you can make a bouquet of layered flowers with your other Lovely Layers. There is a foil, there is more than one foil plate in this release. I do not have everything, but I do have this one foil plate. This is the Fanciful A2 hot foil plate. It is beautiful. So gorgeous. So if you love to hot foil, that's a good one. There's also this one, On the Line Fall Florals. So with the last release, we did have another On the Line. It was called On the Line Succulents. These are really fun to work with. They're gorgeous. And this one is a fall theme. So this one's Fall Florals, and it's You're the Best, Hello, Thankful for your kindness, Grateful for your friendship, to have you in my life and blessed. So those are all of the words that are part of this. There's a coordinating die set that's sold separately that cuts out the florals and all of the sentiments. So really beautiful on the line fall florals. Next we have another sentiment set. This is a large sentiment set. Fall for You is what it's called. Begin each day with a grateful heart. In all things give thanks. Gratitude changes everything. There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. Love that. And some smaller ones. Fall is proof that change is beautiful. I still fall for you every day. And there's a coordinating die set sold separately for that as well. I love the inside sentiments products. They're beautiful. If you're looking for some really great messages for the insides of your cards, Honeybee has you covered, because the inside sentiments products, there's a whole series of them, are fantastic. And this one's called Comfort. So this is Inside Sentiments Comfort, and it has kind of like a sympathy or thinking of you kind of a theme. May the love of family and friends comfort you during this time. Sending sincere condolences in your time of sorrow. Death leaves a heartache no one can heal. Love leaves a memory no one can steal. Sending all the positive vibes. So sorry you're under the weather. Best wishes for a speedy recovery. Thinking of you during this difficult time. Flowers whisper what words cannot say. Get well soon. Wrapping you in love. Sometimes there's no words. There are just no words. May your treasured memories bring you comfort. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Send you hugs, kisses, and get well wishes. With sincere, so there's some different fonts mixed in here. I'm here for you. I'm praying for your peace and comfort. My deepest condolences, sympathy. Get well soon. My heart goes out to you in your time of sorrow. So that's fantastic. And there's a coordinating die set. So sometimes we have to make those cards that are, you know, they're tough, and it's nice to have a really nice sentiment set to go along with. This is another beautiful set. This one's called Tea Time Florals. It's really pretty. You can see that there's some gorgeous florals here, some really neat sentiments that go along with the teapot, the teacup, and those florals. Hey there, missing you. Take life one cup at a time. You're my bestie and first tea. And of course, a coordinating die sold separately. Really love that as well, the cute little tea bag. So that's really sweet. That's Tea Time Florals. This next set's called Fall Swags. It's really beautiful. Again, the florals in the fall release are really pretty. So we've got a couple of floral swags here. You're my favorite person, sending a little cheer. Let's get together. Thank you so much. Hi, friend. Thinking of you. Sending our love. Miss you bunches. Your kindness is appreciated. Get well soon. Love you, and hello. So some really great sentiments with that one. And of course, coordinating die that's sold separately, and that's Fall Swags. Lastly, in the fall release, we have Painted Pumpkins. This is so adorable. I love it. There's 4 different pumpkin styles here. Hey there, pumpkin. Grateful for you. Thankful. Friend. And hi. There's a coordinating die set sold separately that cuts out the pumpkins and all of the sentiments. And that's Painted Pumpkins. I love that. Okay, also in this release, there's some extras. I do not have the stencils or all of the things yet. I think they're on the way, but I don't have them yet. We have some new wax melts. There's Autumn wax melts. Gorgeous. Metallics. Totally beautiful. There's also Spooktacular, and you can see these are shimmery. Open those up so you can see them. There's definitely some shimmer there. And so all of the traditional Halloween colors, so cute. That's called Spooktacular. We have some new seals or stampers. So some new Be Creative stampers. This is the pumpkin wax stamper. Super cute. It's a little pumpkin. So we open these up. Got that little pumpkin seal. Super cute. These are really nice quality. We also have a witch's hat. How cute is that? Adorable. And we also have a maple leaf. And I'm Canadian, so That makes me really happy. But yeah, so that's really great for fall. Maple leaf. And for an order of $75 or more, you will get this gorgeous set of papers that can be used for card fronts. They're double-sided premium cardstock. There's 12 sheets and they're A2 size. They're acid and lignin free and they are just gorgeous. How stunning is that? They're so pretty. Some just gorgeous colors and patterns. So gorgeous. So you could use these in coordination with any of the products from the release or whatever you have in your stash. Those little apples, spider webs and skulls. This kind of looks like a black damask, but it has skulls in it. Beautiful plaid, some candy corn, and then just a kind of traditional Halloween colors on the back in a geometric pattern. So really pretty. Love those so much. So those are this is the freebie product with an order of $75 or more. Next we have some gems. We've got the Spooktacular gem stickers, gorgeous colors. And we also have the green and grunge gem stickers, so pretty. Those fall kind of metallics. We also have a couple of paper pads, and again, I love these, the size of these paper pads, 6 by 8.5, so that they're perfect for a 5 by 7 card front, or you can perfectly cut these in half to get 2 A2 size card fronts. So really fantastic patterns. They're double-sided as per usual. And just some really beautiful wood grains in there. This one might be my favorite. I've used that one. Really love them. Like, how stunning. These are just some really good basic papers for card making. I love them. This one's just so good, right? Some good neutrals for some card backgrounds. This is so stunning, this blue. Love that. It kind of has that beachy feel to it. Beautiful. So that's the green and grunge. And this one is the Spooktacular. You can see all of the colors on the front there. Again, these are all double-sided. Really gorgeous patterns. I think you get 2 of each. I've used some of this paper pad already, as you can see. That houndstooth, and got some spider webs, that gorgeous some green tones and some black and orange, some spiders. Really love it. This one's fun. The jack-o'-lanterns has a real vintage feel to it, and that beautiful orange geometric. So those are the patterned papers that I have. And when you order from Honeybee, they will stick in a little coloring sheet for you. I love these. So they're so great. You get an image and a little sentiment. You can color those. And this is a little thank you from Honeybee when you order. So love this release. It's gorgeous. I'm going to show you some samples, and now I'm going to make a card. Okay, so let's take a look at the projects that I've made so far with the collection. This is a 5 by 7 card that I've made here. It's a white card base, and I've used some of the patterned paper here. You can see that in the background. And what I did was I created a black mat and then layered my pattern paper on top. This purple paper here, I actually tore it and did some machine stitching. And then you can see the bottom section is the green pattern paper. What I did with the If the Broom Fits set, so this is the stamp and coordinating die, If the Broom Fits, I used the die, so I used this hat die here, and I cut it from some of the Spellbinders glitter foam. I don't know if you've seen that product, but it's amazing, and it die cuts really well. I'm really impressed with that. I die cut the hat out of that, and then I die cut the hat just out of plain green cardstock, and I cut a section of it for a hat band, and then I used this set here. So this is the Toil and Trouble set. I used the Toil and Trouble set to cut the skull out of some cream colored cardstock. I also cut these little bones, And so you can see that I layered the skull and the bones there on the hat, and I finished it with some green stickles. So just to give a little bit of sparkle. I cut the bats also from the Toil and Trouble set. So these are the little bats that I cut. Cut them from black cardstock, and I used a little bit of purple stickles in the eyes just to give the eyes a little bit of sparkle. I used that vintage label die set that I showed you, and I cut out 2 of the pieces that layer together out of green and white. The green is popped up on some foam adhesive, and I've stamped the sentiment from Hocus Pocus, "Have a spooky good Halloween." Use the coordinating die. Oh no, I didn't use the coordinating die. I just stamped directly onto the green cardstock, and I actually heat embossed that with, I stamped it with black and heat embossed with clear embossing ink. Okay, now for these legs, I stamped them here with "If the Broom Fits," and I colored them with my Copics, and I fussy cut instead of using the coordinating die because I didn't want the white border. So I just fussy cut. It was really easy to do, and stuck them under there. They've got a little bit of foam adhesive to give them some pop and dimension, and I've used a little bit of green and purple stickles just to add a little bit of detail. So that's one of the cards that I made. I love that it's 5 by 7. It's a size of card that I enjoy making, and that is my first sample. My second sample here, I used the new Lovely Layers Fall Foliage set, which is gorgeous. I used the new Tim Holtz mica sprays, but I also used some of the old ones as well. I think one is called Carved Pumpkin, maybe. The Harvest one. I just used a variety of Tim's mica sprays to colorize my different fall pieces here, my fall foliage. And I just did that in my splat box, sprayed them, let them dry, and then layered them together. So you can see that they have a little bit of foam adhesive between some of them. Well, I guess any that has a layer on it, I use some foam adhesive, but it's easy to do that with the ones that only have 2 layers, right? Because it doesn't get two-dimensional. And then I just layered those on top of some of that grunge pattern paper. I tore it just to give it a little bit more of a textural look. I've layered it over top of a piece of white cardstock, and I used that foil plate that I showed you, that foil plate, to emboss my paper. So I just took the foil plate. I'll just grab it here quickly. I took the foil plate and I ran it through my die cutting machine as though it was an embossing folder. So I used the same sandwich, and it just embosses your paper. So it's really nice. And I used that behind my pattern paper, and it just looks really pretty. And I added a few of the new gems, and the sentiment there, "Fall is proof. That change is beautiful," is from the Fall for You set. So it's this sentiment here, which is just a really nice sentiment. So that's the second sample that I made. I think it's really pretty. I think it's just a nice everyday kind of a card. And the last sample that I have to show you here is using the Lovely Layers Mum. This frame here that I've used is an older cover plate from a couple of releases ago, but it's beautiful. And some of you might have that in your stash already. I will be sure to link that up in the description box below with all of the other products I'm linking here. But I just, I did some ink blending here with my Distress inks, and I believe I used worn lipstick and some scattered straw, so some of the yellows and pinks from the Distress Oxides. And I did a little bit of green, I think Twisted Citron in the center. I used some greens for my leaves here, and then I just finished with some pearls. And that Grateful Sentiment is from the On the Line Fall Florals set. All of these sets have such beautiful sentiments with them as well, which is really great. So I just die cut out that word grateful, stamped it in black, and die cut that out and popped it up on some foam. And I just added some of the pearls from Honeybee. So just a really pretty, nice thank you card. So those are the samples that I have to share tonight that I've made with some of the products. And I think these will be posted somewhere on the Honeybee blog. I know I saw this one was posted. I'm not sure if they posted these two, but there should be pictures somewhere, or you can just, you know, pause the video and take a screenshot at some point during this video if you want to duplicate any of these cards. Okay, so now I'm going to make a card for you. Okay, so we are going to use this really adorable Perfect Potions shaker jars die set to create some shaker card today. And what I did was I die cut the little shaker frame. So this little guy for this bottle, and I die cut the base, so this one from white, and then I also die cut out this die again, the outline die, from some acetate, and I cut all of these little bottle tops with black cardstock. I know you probably can't see that on my mat. I'll just put it on the white paper there. So these are the 4 little pieces that I need for this specific shaker, and then I did that for each one of the bottles. So these are the pieces for the largest bottle. That's the acetate. Here is the bottle top and the white base, and oh, and of course I forgot to mention that there's also, so there's the front, and then there's also a cork. So this cork matches this bottle. This bottle, it's a round shape and it looks like that, so I assumed maybe that's glass. So that's going to be for that one. And then the small bottle, I've got the acetate, I've got the base, the top from some orange glitter cardstock, the cork, and then the bottle top. This one here is kind of a purple glitter. It almost kind of looks, probably looks kind of black, but it's purple. So that's going to be for each one of our bottles. And then we're also going to stamp out some labels for our bottles as well. So what I need to make these into a shaker is I need some shaker mixes. I have those off to the side. And I also need some foam strips to add to create that shaker element. So let's start working on one of these bottles here. Let's start working on the green one here first. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to adhere my acetate to the back of the bottle here. Like so. You'll notice that the top of this is cut off. That's because my glitter paper moved in my die cutting machine when I was cutting it. But not to worry, because that's going to get covered up with this piece of silver shimmer metallic paper. I'm going to zoom you guys in, and I'm going to grab some adhesive. So I'm just going to take some double-sided tape, and I'm going to add it to the shaker front, so the front of my little potion bottle. I'm going to add it to the back side of that. Here you can just see I'm going to just add a little bit of this really thin double-sided adhesive so that my acetate will stick to this really well. So this is a really strong adhesive. It's going to hold that acetate in place. I'm just burnishing that down a little bit. Now I'll just take the release paper off of the back, and I will be all ready to add the acetate onto this piece here. So I'm just going to finish taking that off. Now the acetate is in the shape of this bottle. It was die cut with the same die as the bottle base that you see in white there to the left. And it just is going to be the perfect shape to fill in the back side of this shaker. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that into place. And that's going to finish off the front of my little potion bottle here for my shaker element. Now what I need to do is take some foam strips and add some foam strips onto the back of this as well to create the depth that I need on the shaker element. Now that's the little die cut piece that I cut for the little stopper for the bottle here. It's cut out of silver metallic cardstock. I thought that might make it look a little bit more like glass or something a little more realistic. This is the little black die cut piece that's part of that set, the die set, and it just creates the little bottle top rim. And I'm going to adhere that black piece onto the silver metallic, and then I'm just going to trim off the bottom portion of that silver metallic paper to make it look like the rest of the bottle stopper is actually inside of the bottle. So you'll just see me here putting that little silver metallic piece in place, and I'm going to line up this little black piece with the rim that's on the green glitter paper. And then I'm just going to take this and trim off the rest of this metallic paper with my cutter bee scissors here. And then this will be ready to glue onto the top of my bottle. So that's just going to finish the bottle top. And the other two bottles are finished off with a little cork die cut, which is really cute too. So I'm just going to show you finishing this one bottle, but the other two bottles are the exact same process. And I'm just going to get this adhered into place and add that to the top of my green bottle, and that'll be all ready to go. So that is looking great. And now I am ready for my foam adhesive. The reason why I add foam adhesive on the back of my shaker element is so that it's dimensional, and when we put the shaker mix inside, it gives room for that shaker mix to actually move around inside of that shaker element. So I took the release paper off the back of that foam adhesive so that it will allow me to bend it and shape it into the shape of the bottle here. You could just cut strips and not take the paper off the back. It's just kind of annoying because it is sticky, but it's just nice to be able to shape this so that it's in the shape of the object that you're working on. I will just cut an extra little strip, and I'll put a little bit more foam adhesive on the top of that bottle so that the whole bottle is going to be dimensional on the back. And I'll just take the release paper off whatever's left there, and it'll be all ready to add to the bottle base, which is that white piece off to the left. And before I can add that on there, what I also really like to do is I like to add a little bit of liquid adhesive onto that foam adhesive. I'll show you that in a second. I've just taken my shaker mix and I'm adding it to the center part of my little bottle, avoiding where the foam adhesive is going to be glued to that, obviously. So I'm just getting the shaker mix into the center there. Now I'm just going to take my liquid adhesive and add it to the foam adhesive, and that's just going to allow me to wiggle this around into place when I add this onto my bottle base. So I'll get that on there. I'm just going to do this carefully so that I don't get this on top of any of the sequins, and I'm just going to press that together, wiggle it into the right place first, and then I'll give it a good press. And now you can see how cute that is. And I just did the same thing for the other two bottles. Now the potion labels are stamped out there from that potion label set. I did 2 labels and then I did a skull. I did stamp that out of some black slow drying ink, and I'm going to cover that with some clear embossing powder. I'll melt that with my heat tool, and that's just going to allow those to be kind of really shiny and a little bit dimensional. There is a coordinating die for each one of those stamped images, and I will just take that coordinating die and die cut these out once I have the heat embossing all finished. So I'm just using my heat tool to melt that embossing powder. It just makes these really, really nice and bright. They pop and they are shiny and really cool looking. So I'll just take those coordinating dies, I'll die cut those pieces out, and those will be all ready to add to the front of our potion bottles. I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive to glue these down into place, and I'm just going to use my honeybee liquid glue here to do that. I'll use my tweezers to help me get these into place, and I really love how these look. I think they're super cute. These little bottles are adorable. I love the corks and that bottle topper. I think it just makes them look that much more detailed. Now I've cut out this green pattern paper from the Spooktacular paper pad using an oval stitched frame die from Honeybee. And I also cut a rectangle from this patterned paper with the webs on it. And I'm using a 5x7 card base for my card. So I cut this spider web paper down just slightly smaller than 5x7 so that I have a little bit of a white border around the edges. I'll get that adhered down. And then I'm also going to add that green patterned paper oval into the center of this paper. And when I was looking at this and thinking about all of the finishing details for this project, I felt like the background seemed a little bit plain at this point. And so what I decided to do is I decided to take the a little spooky die set and add some details using that set for this little scene that I'm creating here. So you can see how it's kind of plain. And I did want to use this Hocus Pocus sentiment, pick your poison, but I just felt like this was looking kind of plain. So I decided to take that die set, and I'm going to use the candelabra die that's part of this set to die cut out some elements for this project. So I'm going to die cut out the candelabra with some silver metallic cardstock. And I'm also going to cut the little candle layers out of ivory cardstock and the little flames out of yellow. So all of the little bits to layer this up are part of that die set, which is really cool. So you can see here how there's the little layering candles to go over top of the metallic candles, which is perfect. So I'm going to glue these parts all together. You'll just see me here putting the candles down. Then I'll add the flames to the tops of each one of these candles. Makes it look kind of realistic, and it's just really fun. So you can customize this to be whatever color you want. All of your candles don't necessarily have to be the same color. It's just really fun. You can do all kinds of different things. I'm just cleaning up that glue off my mat so that I don't end up with a really big mess. I'm also going to be using the Toil and Trouble die set for this little scene that I'm creating here as well. I'm going to use the Toil and Trouble set to die cut out some little bats, and that's going to finish off my little scene with those elements. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue this candelabra onto my background here once I get my space all cleaned up here. And look how much better that looks with that on there. You could actually die cut out one of the spider webs that's part of one of the die sets. There's so many different cute little ways that you can zhuzh this up and just make it look really fun. So I just think that looks so much better with that behind there. It just adds that little bit of extra detail. So I'm going to get everything glued into place. I'm going to glue that candelabra in place with my liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to grab that with my tweezers here, get a little bit of adhesive on the back, and just secure that down to that green pattern paper there. And once that is all dry and ready to go, I'm also going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive to the back of each of my potion bottles and get them added on here as well. This is a pretty dimensional card, but it's the type of card that you probably are going to hand deliver. And I love that sentiment, pick your poison. I think that's super cute. And I just had a lot of fun creating this card. Gonna get these all glued into place, and I will let them just get nicely adhered. And what I love about the liquid adhesive from Honeybee is it allows me to have a little bit of time to move things around, which is fantastic, because I wasn't completely sure at first where I wanted these to go. So I'll get them put down, and then I'll just wiggle them around a little bit into the exact spots I wanted them. But here you can see I'm still not really sure if I have enough detail. I'm kind of looking at this and wondering. So like I said before, I do take the Toil and Trouble die set, and I use the little bat die to help create a few more little embellishments for this little scene. And I'm going to cut those out of some Spellbinder's glittery foam. And that's just the perfect product. How fun is this little shaker to cut these little bats from? So you can just see them here. They're super cute, and they're really going to be sparkly and shiny, and I'll show you that when I'm all finished. But look at this paper. It's a foam paper. It's really fun. All of the products that I've used today, friends, are linked up in the description box below, so you can click those links to shop for any of the brand new release from Honeybee Stamps. It's a really fun release. There's lots of really beautiful fall and Halloween themed products for your projects. Love the collection so much. It's super fun, really creative, really different. There's a lot of really different and interesting elements to the collection, which are really fun. I had so much fun creating this shaker card for you today. I hope you were inspired by the samples that I showed you earlier and this really sweet little shaker card that I've created. And yeah, I really enjoyed making this for you. I thought it was so much fun to make. Thanks so much for joining me, friends. Take care, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.